We glorify growth. We chase more clients, more money, more visibility, more everything. But what if success isn't always about more? What if it's about less? Less, but better. Hi. Today I want to talk to you about something that has been on my heart. Why growth without intention can leave you exhausted, and how choosing to pause to create space might be the most powerful move you can make. The other day, I caught up with my high school friend, Sayuri. We're the only two from our grade who went overseas. She went to university in Australia. I went to the UK. And what we both came back with was something more valuable than a degree. We came back with a global perspective. When you live overseas or work globally, you start to see just how much of what we call normal is really just habit, culture, default. You notice how people approach success differently. You start to choose your values instead of inheriting them. When I returned to Japan, 2 encounters reminded me of how different the business cultures can be. I walked past a tiny tofu shop. They make a set amount of tofu every day. Once it's sold out, that's it. They close. No plan to scale, no push to grow. Then I spoke with a hairdresser. No Instagram, no business card. When I asked why, he just smiled and said, "I trust the people who need me will find me." And he's been thriving that way for over 10 years, but I couldn't stop thinking about how different my own approach to business is. I think in terms of systems, process, scale, freedom, lifestyle design. Because for me, running a business isn't just about doing the work. It's about building a dream life. But here's the thing. What happens when your dream life starts to feel like it's running you into the ground? What happens when you can't handle anymore? You've probably seen it. Big YouTubers, influencers, entrepreneurs saying, "I quit." They disappear. Sometimes stopping is the most powerful way to take back control. Think of the founder of Patagonia. He gave his company away to fight climate change. Or the Japanese band Mrs. Green Apple. They paused at the peak of their fame to reset and came back stronger. Because here's the truth. We glorify constant growth, but growth without intention can leave you exhausted, disconnected, and burned out. And yet, for many of us, stopping feels impossible. You've got bills, a family, a team counting on you. You feel like you're drowning, but you can't stop swimming. So what do? In Japanese culture, there's a concept called ma. It means the space between things. It's not emptiness, it's presence. A deliberate pause that gives meaning to everything around it. The silence between musical notes. The quiet between words in a conversation. The margin that makes a design beautiful. The pause in life that gives us clarity. Without ma, music is just noise. Without ma, conversation is just shouting. Without ma, life feels meaningless. So how do we create ma in our own lives and businesses, even when it feels like we can't stop? Start small. Even a 10% shift can change everything. One less client and one clearer offer. 1 hour each day just for quiet thinking. Saying not right now to one thing that drains you. Ma doesn't have to mean quitting everything and moving to a mountain temple. It simply means making space for yourself again. When we're stuck in growth mode, it feels like success is measured only by more. More revenue, more followers, more recognition. But think about it. If growth leaves you feeling empty, burned out, and disconnected from your own life, is it really success? Louise Hay once said, "You've been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." What if you started approving of where you are, instead of chasing more? Let's go back to the tofu shop. They make enough tofu for the day, then they close. They spend their evenings with their family. They sleep well. They wake up and do it again with love. They don't dream of franchising. They don't feel pressure to scale. They've defined success on their own terms, and they are free. On the other hand, what happens if you don't create more? It starts small. You feel a little tired, a little resentful, a little distracted. Then it grows. You start snapping at your family. You stop sleeping well. You lose sight of why you started in the first place. Until one day you wake up and realize, this isn't my dream anymore. It's my prison. Don't wait for that moment. I've learned that growth is not the final goal. Freedom is. And freedom doesn't come from constant hustle and endless scaling. It comes from having the courage to pause, to reset, and to build back on your own rules. Tony Robbins says, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. But I'd add, growth happens when you give yourself the space to choose what matters most. So how do you start? Step 1. Reflect. What does success really mean to you? Not what others say, you. Step 2. Notice. Where have you been saying yes to things that don't align with your values? Step 3. Create Ma. Start with one small shift, one pause, one breath. Step 4. Rebuild. Choose what you want more of and what you're ready to let go of. Step 5. Remember. You don't have to earn your worth. You're already enough. You get to choose what matters. You get to choose peace. You get to choose you. Because success isn't always more. Sometimes it's less, but better. We spend our lives chasing growth, thinking that's the goal. But what you're really after isn't more. It's meaning, it's presence, it's freedom. So today, give yourself permission to pause, to create Ma in your life, to reset, to build back on your own rules. Because you don't just deserve success, you deserve to feel free. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs this reminder. And if you're ready to redefine what success means for you, subscribe to this channel. We'll keep having these conversations about growth, freedom, and building a life that actually feels good to live. Because your dream isn't just about more, it's about better. And you are already enough. I'll see you in the next video.